everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Glad to see you all this morning. Thank you for coming. I'm Reverend Mary Murray Shelton, the community spiritual leader here at Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. If you're with us online, welcome. We're glad you're here today. And it looks like we're having a little club meeting today. That's what's going on in this room. It's sunny out, and I don't know where everybody is, but we who are here are here. So let's take this time to greet one another. One of the things that we do in this center is make sure that everybody gets welcomed. So I just want to invite you to stand up, walk around, and greet one another, welcome each other, make sure people have a chance to feel seen and heard. And for those of you online, give us just a moment. We'll be right back to do our morning song together. All right. Let's go ahead and take our seats. It's so fascinating. I never know when I come in on Sunday what this is going to look like or what we're going to have. So those of you who are here, good job. You made it, and I'm thrilled. I am delighted that you're here. So this morning, we have Nathan Aswell from Vancouver, British Columbia, who is our musical guest this morning. He's a recording artist. I've known Nathan for about 15 years now, I guess. He does a morning musing every Wednesday morning on his Facebook page. So if you're inclined to join in for an insight, a new chant, and some contemplative silence, that's Wednesday mornings. He does that at 9 a.m. Pacific. This morning, he is singing with us a song that we've sung before called Name It, Claim It. So here's Nathan. And let's stand and prepare to sing with him. Go, Nathan. There we go.
Greetings, everyone. It's great to be back with you at Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. In honor of this month's theme, Meeting the Inner Deep, and of today's theme, We Are More Than We Know, I'd like to kick things off with an up-tempo version of a great song by Aaron McGon called Name It, Claim It. Well, I name it, and I claim it, and then I see it everywhere. Well, I name it, and I claim it, and then I see it everywhere. Yes, I name love, and I claim love, and then I see it everywhere. I name love, and I claim love, and then I see it everywhere. Because it's mine, 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 the endless and everlasting love of the divine. When I name it, and I claim it, and then I see it everywhere. I name it, and I claim it, and then I see it everywhere. Yes, I name love, and I claim love, and then I see it everywhere. I name love, and I claim love, and then I see it everywhere. Because it's mine, 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 the endless and everlasting love of the divine. and I see it everywhere. I see it everywhere. I see it everywhere.
Yes, thank you, Nathan. I love that Chapman stick, that instrument that he uses. I've never seen it anywhere else. I know there are other people that play it, but the only person I've ever seen with one is Nathan. And the interesting thing about this 12-stringed instrument is that it can be plucked, strummed, or tapped in order to play sounds on it. And it plays, of course, both the bass line and the melody. So it's quite amazing. Okay, now I'm done ranting and raving about that. So this is our time to turn within. I'm going to invite you to silence your cell phones so we don't hear any extraneous noise. And you might want to do that at home too, so you don't get interrupted. And then we're going to turn within. And our morning prayer practitioner, Leslie Giannetti, is going to come up to give us that opening right now.
So as I turn within, I recognize the one infinite life, the magnificent all-in-all light, the power of creation is always operating upon itself. It is always pouring itself through everything, visible and invisible. I realize that I'm a part of it, that it's the life within me. It's the life that breathes my breath. And as this is true for me, this is true for each one. Each one is a unique, individualized expression of the infinite life. Each one is a vessel for the light and the divine love of eternality. So I speak my word for each one, and I claim an opening in consciousness now for a deep and resonant realization that each one is more than they know, that the life within each one is magnificent, and it is always seeking greater self-expression. It is inspiring each one forward to a vast, infinite consciousness of wholeness and love. And recognizing this always demonstrates in the conditions, in the world, in thought, that each one is always in the midst of divine operation for creating something new and for recreating every moment by moment. Even today, in Reverend Mary's talk, her words are spirit made manifest, and they are poured over each one. Everyone who hears Reverend Mary's words are in the light of life itself. This is the truth of being, that each one is a center in the consciousness, in the light of the infinite life, every moment by moment. So in today's service, as we come together as one and listen, let the stillness speak to each one through the infinite mind for the greater expression of life and love. And I give thanks in advance for the opening that takes place in consciousness and allows for each one to realize the truth. And I release my word to the law of mind, which embraces my word into itself, bringing it into form in its ideal perfection, and so it is.
You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings. And with every step you take, bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Oh, the places you will go and the people you will know. Don't worry when or where or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes, take a breath, and smile. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You will do amazing things. You will do amazing things.
Mm. Mhm. Rising higher and growing deeper. That's what this year is about for us. Now, to rise higher and grow deeper means it's code. It means change. Rising higher is higher than we've ever gone in consciousness, and growing deeper is sending roots further down than we have before, to entwine with one another, to become more stable together, to have a wider network of nourishment. So that's kind of the aim of the year for us. And the theme for July is meeting the inner deep. There is a depth in us that is more than we have awareness of. So when I say, today my talk title is "We're More Than We Know," as Rick was saying earlier, well, we're more than we know, duh. It's obvious that we're probably more than we've discovered, more than we're aware of. But what I want to bring our attention to today is it's even weirder than that. The idea that we're capable of more, usually we think about that in terms of, well, maybe what we could learn, or what we could do, or what we could physically achieve. But there's another whole level of us that is really subtle and often kind of under wraps, so that we either forget it's there, or we never become aware of it, or we kind of grow out of it and never rediscover that part of ourselves again. This gal says, while I was away visiting my sister away at college, we entered the cafeteria and she immediately warned me to stay away from the main course. How do you know it isn't good? I asked her. You haven't even seen it. She pointed to the peanut butter, which was always available as an alternative. And she said, anytime there are more than 5 knives in the peanut butter, you know the meal is bad. It's like a poker player who can read somebody's tell. The students had discovered this is the clue. Look at the peanut butter first before you get your plate. Then you know what you want to have. So we have ways of discerning things that somebody else might be surprised to discover because they've never experienced that, so they don't know that. When I thought of this example this morning for some reason. At summer conferences, when we all used to go to Asilomar in Pacific Grove, or up in the Pacific Northwest, we would all go to CBEC. And we would spend a week, some people would spend the whole 2 weeks, in a conference with other religious scientists from all over the country. And we would listen to speakers, and we would listen to live musicians. All of these musicians that you see on Sunday on video were people that sang live at Asilomar. And we got to know them that way. We bought their CDs or whatever. And we listened to speakers. Sometimes they were our religious science speakers, and sometimes they were famous speakers. That's how I heard Deepak Chopra the first time in person, was at Asilomar. So one of the subtle things that happened at those conferences, for me anyway, and even when my son was little, and we would go to these conferences, is that over the course of the week, something would happen to us as a group, collectively. We would begin to relax into a different culture, a culture in which we felt safe, in which we felt connected to one another, in which we felt unified in some way. And so we would let our guard down to some degree. We would greet everybody, whether we knew them or not. We would wish them well. We'd say hello. We'd get into conversations with people that we only saw once a year at the conference. And then we would go home. And when we went home, we very quickly discovered we did not feel the same way out in the world, that we needed to recalibrate and pull back in, that you couldn't just make eye contact and have a conversation with anybody walking by. That could be dangerous, or it could be scary, or somebody might think you were just nuts. So we would take that open flower that we had become over the course of that week or two and pull it back in. Can anybody relate to this? Do you remember this experience at all, having this happen? So when we're in that kind of experience, we expand a little bit into that more that we are. We discover a part of ourselves that is less defended and less defensive. And yet, we don't live in that space most of the time. We have this mistaken idea that in order to be safe, we have to pull in and be guarded. And I wonder, at enlightened people, those who have actually awakened to a larger truth about the true nature of who they are and what the world is, those people, I think, don't pull back that way. They meet the moment as if they see the true wholeness in every person that they look at. And so when they see that, they overlook the exterior defendedness or defensiveness or guardedness or resistance. They look through that and they just respond to the wholeness in the person, no matter what else is going on. And it allows them to meet the moment without fear, staying grounded. Now, right in this moment, without looking, I want you to think about what shoes you have on. what shoes you're wearing today, okay? Think about your shoes, all right? Wiggle your toes a little bit, but don't look at your shoes. Now, are you wearing socks or nylons or knee-high nylons or sandals, or what else do you have on your feet? Just notice. See if you can feel that, those socks or lack thereof in what you're wearing on your feet. Now, here's what is happening to you. Bring your attention back. When you put your attention on something physical and you really give attention to it, it does two things. It brings you right into the present moment right now, because the only way you can tell what your feet feel like is to actually pay attention to them right here, right now. The other thing it does is that it tends to ground you in your body. So wherever you were, if you were falling asleep, if you were daydreaming, whatever you were doing, if you actually start to think about your shoes and your feet and your toes and your socks, you suddenly find yourself in the present moment in your body, okay? This being present to the moment, exactly as it is, without resistance, just with the intention to be aware, that is part of our job as embodied human beings, is to meet the moment by being present. I think most of the time, for me, that's not true. I'm thinking about what I need to get done, or I'm concerned about something I haven't done, or I want to remember something I think that I might forget. Can anybody relate to that? Yeah. And so when we're doing that, we're not in the moment that we're dwelling in. We look like we're here, but mentally we're someplace else. We're completely engaged and totally in our brains somewhere else. And yet, there is something more to us. Now, when we're tiny, when we're little, at the very beginning, our job really is to discover I am. That's the first thing I need to know. I exist. I'm here. Something is happening here. This is me. Now, this is my little grandson discovering the joy of water. He's having a ball splashing away in this water like a little Buddha. And what he's discovering is that water does something when you smack it like that. It's different than anything else he experiences. When we're tiny, at first, we don't know that mother is a different entity from us. We think it's all part of the same thing. It's all connected to us. But as we grow, our task is to differentiate, is to recognize that we're an individual, that you are you. You're not me. You are a different one. You are a different one. And I might want something from you, or I might really not want something from you. And so I discover that you are not me. And yet, with my family, with all the people around me, with my pets in the household, with the other people who are friends of my parents that I meet, what I discover is that we're all connected. We seem to be part of something together. We are in oneness, even though we're individuals. And I can remember being a little child and looking at my relatives with a complete state of acceptance and unconditional love. It was only later, as a teenager or as an adult, that I would look at them and think about whether or not they were physically attractive people, or whether they were traditional or wild and innovative, and have opinions about that. But as a little child, they were my family. And all of them I met with the same level of acceptance. Do you know this? Have you thought about this yourself or noticed it in other little kids in your family? This meeting the person is not about what they've accomplished or how old they are or what they believe. It's just, this is my person. This is one of my people. So you are not me, and yet we are connected in this. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "We are the facade of a temple wherein all wisdom and all good abide." Now, when we're tiny, we see that wisdom and good everywhere we look. The water is wonderful. Mama is wonderful. Aunt Sally is wonderful. But as we get a little older, we start to differentiate further than that. John O'Donohue said, each stone, tree, place, and person is, in its depths, the expression of a divine idea. So Barrett, as he's encountering the world, everything is a divine idea. Without differentiation, without discernment, without judgment, it's all amazing, beautiful, wonderful, gorgeous, yeah? That's the task when we're tiny. Dare de Chardin taught that every subatomic particle is filled with Christ. We consist of trillions of particles assembled by God or natural forces that God created. We are saturated with the divine. And that is always true of us, no matter how bad our behavior might be, or what we think of ourselves, or the way we've decided to think about other people. And a lot of that grows out of that idea that I'm not quite safe. I might be bullied, or I might be made fun of, or I might be ostracized if. And so I try to create insurance against that if by the way that I communicate with people or don't, by the way that I dress or don't draw attention to myself in the way that I dress, whatever it might be, yeah? So this is the first step, recognizing that I am and that I'm an individual, that I'm different from you, and then I begin to grow into the idea that I might have opinions about that, and I want to test that out. I want to see what it feels like to do maybe what you do. And so my older grandson, who is now 18 years old, decided he would wear my shoes and try and walk around in shoes that had an extra 3 inches behind his little feet as he clomped around in my shoes. Look what I can do. I can do this too. I can wear these shoes too. I can go all around in this. I am like my Nana. I can do what my Nana can do. I can wear these shoes, right? So we discover the things that we can do, and the things that we can do become more and more delightful and interesting. We can feed ourselves, and food is amazing. It's different textures and colors and flavors and sometimes sounds. You know, potato chips crunch. What is that about? So we have this whole experience of the world now where every single thing shows us something else that we can do. And we begin to push to do more, to learn how to do more as this one. This is when little kids start to say no, or me do it. Don't do this for me. I can do it. I want to do it, even when we know they can't, even when you have to quickly take the knife away or whatever it is that they're getting into. And they begin to think of themselves in a particular way. I am this way. I can do this. I can do that. This is also when they start to overhear their parents saying things about them. Well, she doesn't have any athletic ability, or can't carry a tune, or he's clumsy, or whatever it is. And little kids hear that, and they don't question it. They assume that that's the truth, that somebody's observing something that's accurate about them, rather than just somebody's making an expression of something. You know, a couple weeks ago, I was trying to quote the wonders that human beings are and why we should teach little children about this, and I said it was Pablo Picasso who said this. It wasn't. It was Pablo Casals, and he said, this is what he really said: each second we live in a new and unique moment of the universe, a moment that never was before and will never be again. And what do we teach our children in school? We teach them that 2 and 2 make 4, and Paris is the capital of France. When will we teach them what they are? We should say to each of them, do you know what you are? You are a marvel. You are unique. In all the world, there is no other child exactly like you. In the millions of years that have passed, there has never been another child like you. You may become a Shakespeare, a Michelangelo, a Beethoven. You have the capacity for anything. Yes, you are a marvel. And when you grow up, can you then harm another who is like you, a marvel? You must cherish one another. And then he says, you must work. We must all work to make this world worthy of its children. So when we come into this second aspect where we discover, oh, this is what I'm like. I am like this. I am like that. Mom says I'm like this, and I can do this, and I can do that. Then I start to collect ideas about myself, some of which are not as accurate as others, some of which are empowering and encouraging, and some of which are discouraging and deflating. But this is kind of the composite of how I come to believe more about who I am. And then weird stuff happens. Weird stuff happens in my own experience of my intuitive knowing. Now, how did I know that? I just knew inwardly something was a certain way, and then I was right. Now, that's interesting. Nobody ever told me about that part. Or I have an experience in the world that is weird. I have an experience in the world that, from my experience, shouldn't be. And yet I experience it. So I'm wondering now, how does everybody experience that? Or am I just experiencing that? I have a friend who, as a child, it was like the sixth sense. I see dead people. She went screaming into her mother's bedroom one night saying, "There's a man standing in the toy box at the end of my bed." So what do you do with a little child who has a capacity to see stuff that other people don't see and comments on it? What do you do? Do you tell them they have an overactive imagination, or that's an imaginary friend? Or because you can't see it, are you completely convinced that it doesn't exist, that they're imagining it or making it up? Or is it possible they're actually seeing something that you can't see? Quite a few years ago, Amanda and I went on a cruise to the British Isles. And we went with a bunch of people from the Huntington Beach Church and a bunch of people from the Mile High Church in Denver. And Reverend Michelle Madrano was there, Reverend Roger Teal, Reverend Marjorie Stamm. I was there. And we went to a place in the Salisbury Plain where Stonehenge is, but this wasn't Stonehenge. This was a place called Woodhenge. And we did, some of the ministers did a little bit of talking, and then we were going to have a half an hour just in silence to go around this sacred space. And it was just a circle of these posts that went around. There had been a building apparently at one time, but it wasn't anymore. There was kind of a central sort of an altar kind of area thing. And so we were meditating and walking around in this place. And it was out on the plains, so there was nothing around. And I started hearing women singing. So I looked around, like, who was somebody, were they singing? Nobody in our group was singing. I looked around as the tour guide, she wasn't singing. There was no one I could see who was singing. And so I was listening to this as I was walking around and kind of doing my meditation. This was weird, right? Then Reverend Michelle came over to me and she said, "Do you hear that singing? It's driving me crazy." I said, "Yeah, I've been listening to it too." But not everybody in the group heard the singing. About, I don't know, some percentage of us heard it. And so I asked the tour guide when we were getting back into the bus, of course, if there was anything around, any place where people might be singing, where we would be hearing that, because some of us have been hearing this singing. She said to me in such a breezy, matter-of-fact way, "Oh, you're probably just hearing a bit of the past." And I thought, well, she's the perfect tour guide for us. We have occasionally, in our experience, things that happen that we cannot explain. How did I hear that? How come everybody didn't hear that? Why did Michelle hear it? Were we making it up? Why were we making it up together if we were making it up, right? So when we have these inner knowing kind of experiences that we can't explain, or we have an outward experience that doesn't have a linear explanation, then we ask ourselves other questions like, what was that? What is real? Am I really experiencing that? What am I? What is this? Am I more different than I thought I was? What exactly is going on? Our founder, Ernest Holmes, said, your body is a temple of the living spirit. It is spiritual substance. Since the Spirit of God has entered into your being, your life is spiritual. The Supreme Being, ever present, exists at the very center of your thought. This presence within you has the power to make all things new. So we come back to the idea of presence, that presence is always with us. Now, what is that presence? It seems to be a complete awareness in every moment of all that is, but not limited to what exists already, or time or space. This infinite mystery is a power, an energy, a consciousness, an awareness. And so I think the closest I can come to describing that presence of God in us is our awareness, our presence, meeting the moment without opinions, just being aware. That presence is like the God energy in us. And it's always there. We can always find it and redirect our attention back to that. Gandhi said, I find this so encouraging. Gandhi said, you must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is an ocean. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. So we may fall, we may make mistakes. We will, of course. We all will. We already have, we'll do some more of that. And yet at the same time, there is this spiritual level where Ernest Holmes said there are no mistakes. So the universe, just like a master weaver who, instead of pulling the yarn out when a mistake gets made, finds a way to incorporate that mistake into the overall pattern of the carpet that's being made, the universe doesn't waste anything. So even when we screw up, the universe has a way of using that to bring something forward for good. So when we look at whatever's going on in the world and we get concerned about it, we get concerned because we're looking at a limited picture of what we can see, and it looks bad. And so we have opinions about that. Like, my uncle has a large nose. That's not really so attractive. Well, if I back up to where I was as a kid, his large nose is just part of what he looks like. It doesn't have anything to do with attractive. It's just, that's my uncle's face. That's him. That's how I recognize him. That's what he looks like. That's my uncle, and I love him. That's enough. When we look at people and we get concerned about their opinions or their behavior or their fears, I wonder if we were to look through that, which is essentially a camouflage of fear, if we were to look through that and meet the soul in there without being afraid of what this camouflage of fear was going to do, maybe I would be able to empower the other person to let down that guard of fear a little bit. Maybe not. maybe they would destroy me. Oh, well, I can't really be destroyed anyway. And I'm sure that as a human being, I wouldn't feel, oh, well, in the moment. But maybe if I were an enlightened being, it would be, oh, well. I know Byron Katie said once, when a man had her at knife point and was going to rape her, what she was aware of was how afraid he was. And so she didn't say to him, don't hurt me. She didn't say to him, don't do this. What she said to him was, don't be afraid. And he took back his knife and ran away. But she said, in that moment, the thought in my head was, well, this is interesting. I wonder if this is how her story ends. Not terror, not fear, not resistance, not anger, not vengeance, but I wonder if this is how her story ends. Isn't that interesting? You don't need to be afraid. Wow, could I meet a moment like that? I don't think so. Maybe someday. But there is something to me about that bigger view of coming from a different place, coming from the original place inside of her, going forward into that. So what is real? Who am I? Matthew Fox said, Christ isn't a term restricted to the individual Jesus of Nazareth, but is a divine consciousness seeking to come alive in all humans. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, put it this way. He said, incarnated within each one of us is not only a divine spark, not only an incarnation of the living spirit of the cosmos, but a unique presentation of the cosmic whole. Like we are the microcosm of the macrocosm, and we express or contain or are a part of all of it, even while we are a unique expression of it. And that's just mind-blowing, that whole idea. Ken Wilber said, the divine self is one with the all, given in grace and sealed in glory. At some point, as one rests in inward witness, feeling the atmosphere of freedom, the very sense of an inner self versus an outer self will often vanish, seen for the illusion it is, leaving only the sense of what the mystics call the one taste. And that's our original being as a tiny little person. But we can't do what we're here to do in the world as human beings and remain in that unitary consciousness. We have to differentiate. But then, once we've differentiated, that's not enough. So I'm here as a unique individual, or unique individualization, as is everyone here and online. That's true of all of us. So what? Like, why am I here? Why am I actually here instead of someplace else? And maybe I am someplace else at the same time, but my awareness that I'm aware of is right here, right? So why am I here? What is the reason? What is the more? Well, I'm here to experience. That seems to be true. I'm here to express. That seems to be true. But there's more. There's more. There's more to me that I get to glimpse once in a while when something odd happens. That's the more. But why? What am I here for? So I was looking at stories of awakening. The awakening of Eben Alexander in Proof of Heaven, the awakening of Eckhart Tolle and Byron Katie. And I went back to see what did they say about this experience that had changed them. Eben Alexander says, modern physics tells us that the universe is a unity, it's undivided. Though we seem to live in a world of separation and difference, physics tells us that beneath the surface, every object and event in the universe is completely woven up with every other object and event. There's no true separation. He goes on to say, before my near-death experience, these ideas were abstractions. Today they are realities. Not only is the universe defined by unity, it is also, I now know, defined by love. The universe, as I experienced it in my coma, is, I have come to see, with both shock and joy, the same one that both Einstein and Jesus were speaking of in their very different ways. He was, for all intents and purposes, dead. There was no brain activity, none. He has looked at all of the medical information, all of the brain scans. He is a brain surgeon, a neurosurgeon. And from a professional perspective, he said, this is medically impossible. What I experienced is medically impossible. There's no way that brain, which was completely offline, could produce what I experienced. Eckhart Tolle described what happened to him this way a little bit. He said, for many years, I had been deeply identified with thinking and the painful, heavy emotions that had accumulated inside me. My thought activity was mostly negative, and my sense of identity was also mostly negative, although I tried hard to prove myself and to the world, and to prove to myself and to the world that I was good enough by working very hard academically. But even after I had achieved academic success, I was happy for 2 weeks or 3, and then the depression and anxiety came back. On that night, there was a disidentification from this unpleasant dream of thinking and painful emotions. The nightmare became unbearable, and that triggered the separation of consciousness from its identification with form. I woke up and suddenly realized myself as the I am, and that was deeply peaceful. And what happened to him, he said, was, in this excruciating moment that was so painful he couldn't stand it, he said to himself, I cannot live with myself any longer. And he said, in that moment, I realized there were two in that statement. There was I, and there was myself, this self. And I thought, who is this self I cannot live with? And that was the moment that woke him up. I wish just reading it would just wake all of us up. That would be a wonderful thing, but I don't have the capacity to do that. But that to me is the moment. And then he went through a period of time in that blissful state where he wasn't really functional because he was so in that, like a baby, in that unitary state. He had to live with it for a while and be supported and helped by people before he could integrate it into this experience. Byron Katie's is even more bizarre. So she had twice become very, very wealthy, very successful, very powerful, and very driven to succeed, to make a lot of money, to be respected, to be successful, to be powerful and wealthy. And she was drowning in depression and anxiety. She was gaining weight, eating huge amounts of food, drinking way too much, smoking all the time. She got into such a state of depression that for months she did not bathe or get out of bed, except to go to the bathroom, I guess. In her second marriage, which took place when she was already on the way down, Her husband, who was 15 years older than she was trying to take care of her. He had 4 heart attacks, trying to be the responsible one. So in 1986, after his 4th heart attack, Paul, her husband, took Katie, who was then 43 years old, to a halfway house. She lived in the attic, sleeping on the floor, not because that's where they put her, but because it was all she believed she deserved. All she wanted was to die. And then one morning, she woke up reborn. Morning dawned, and Katie stirred, lying on the floor. She opened her eyes and saw a cockroach crawling across a human foot. She did not, in that moment, know what a foot, or for that matter, what anything was. It was all a mystery. Yet the sight of the insect, the foot, the leg, and the room filled her with delight and awe. She was a newborn, gazing in wonder at life. It was the most amazing thing, she recalled. I looked at the foot and the leg, and I had never seen anything so beautiful and marvelous. It was the same with the floor, with the cockroach, and with the light, seeing it for the first time, and the unfolding of it was so incredible. Total joy. Overnight, Katie had moved from suicidal despair, remember what Eckhart Tolle said about where he was, to ecstatic freedom. The madwoman had vanished. In her place appeared a beautiful changeling, an innocent child. All that I went through, every breath, was what it took for me to finally wake up. Every experience of life is for this. And so, what I'm seeing in these experiences that I'm hearing about from these people is that there was a moment that they experienced a profound sense of presence, of connection to the moment and to where they were in that moment, and to actually seeing something for the first time, or for the first time since they were tiny, seeing something in a new way, without opinions, without discernment or judgment, without labels, just witnessing it. And the experience was like being reborn like a little child again, back in the I amness experience. So we are here, yes, to experience, yes, to express, but we're also here to discover the power of presence, our presence, of meeting a moment without putting a bunch of labels and opinions on it, without putting a bunch of judgments on it, just meeting the moment with awareness. And to some degree, we can do that. We want to wake up now to the I am all over again. But this experience of I am is a little different than it was when we were the little tiny ones that couldn't tell the difference between us and mom. Certainly, Eckhart Tolle experiences humanity. And yet, some part of him is in oneness with everything, just as it is. He said, yes, you can resist reality rather than just meet it and accept it as it is. You can resist reality. The problem with that is that it causes suffering. Not meeting reality where it is, not recognizing it as it is, and making space for it to become what it is becoming, causes suffering. Because we want it to be different than it is, but it is what it is. You know, Abraham, the woman who channels Abraham, yeah, Esther, she said, or Abraham says something about it is the way it is because that's the way it needs to be. That's how it is supposed to be. And it's connected in a larger way to everything that is, and we can't see that big picture, that total pattern. So what we look at, we have an opinion about, we have a judgment about, because we think it's just whatever we've defined it to be, right? But what if it's not? What if it's a lot more than that? And our response to it and the texture or mood or energy that we carry in our response to it is part of that whole thing, part of what creates it, and part of what maybe allows it to transform into what it is trying to become at the same time. So we are existing for this opportunity to become more present. Now, I love the idea that you would just, on your worst day, when you're having just the worst day ever, and nothing's going right, and you're not liking yourself very much, and you're not liking the world or other people or anything else, and your inner atmosphere is driving you crazy, if that would be the moment for any and all of us when we would just wake up, just in that moment, why Eckhart Tolle and Byron Katie, their level of misery, triggered something when mine hasn't, when I've had those moments, those dark nights of the soul. I don't know. Maybe it's a ripeness thing. I'm not really sure what it is. But I know from the teachings, the spiritual teachings of the world, I know that we are, each one of us, as unfolding beings destined to wake up. I don't know when. I don't know this lifetime, a different lifetime, somewhere else, being somebody else. I have no idea, but it's a closed system. We're going to get there because there's nowhere else to go. And that wholeness has always been here already. It is within every one of us already. So it is really just not an easy thing, but a simple thing, I guess, to flip that switch, because everything we want to be or become or realize or know or express or experience or manifest is already there. Something within us doesn't see it yet, isn't aware of it yet, hasn't yet grasped that, but it's there already. And so it's just a simple but not easy shift of perspective. It might just be one click on the dial for any one of us. It might be that in this room, in this moment, right now, somebody's switch just flipped. And wouldn't that be amazing? So, what shoes are you wearing? Do you have socks on? Wiggle your toes. Come back into the present moment. Because the best I can tell you in this moment about how to move toward that is to spend more time present in the now. I'm not good at it yet, but I think it's a good idea. Namaste. Thank you. All right. Let's take a moment to anchor this within now. This moment, this place, is filled with God, the original creative consciousness and energy out of which the entire universe has been created. That presence is infinitely aware of each one of us and everything about us. Not only aware, but vibrating a presence of love, of safety, of freedom, of complete acceptance and delight, a consciousness of wonder and joy. We are made from this one, woven out of its very being. And so within every one of us, there is also that consciousness of awe and wonder and safety and love. I call forth for all of us in this room and online together this morning a moment of presence, allowing it to deepen, the roots of the presence to go deep, allowing a rising expansion of consciousness in this one that recognizes all of the beauty of creation and all of the amazing aspects of this being and that being, this flower, that sky. I call forth this awareness, this consciousness to go deep inside us and allow us to be reminded often to check our shoes, reminded often to re-ground ourselves, to become present in this moment, in this conversation, in this music, in this fragrance, in this flavor, sight, sound, touch, now. However that needs to be manifested and revealed to each one of us is taking place in us because the universe knows exactly what will allow us to perceive and be aware. So we open to that and invite it. We invite that awakening with all of its beauty and confusion. We invite it into our souls now with gratitude. And we let this prayer go. We let it go into the heart of God where it always has been, the truth of all that is and of us. We let it go into the creative law, the mechanism that takes hold of that and brings it forward into experience. We let it go. We simply let it be. We let it be. And together we say, and so it is. Please stand and join me for the morning affirmation. Those of you at home, stand also. Claim it. As we say together, all that is comes forth from the heart of God. We will never know it all. What is left to learn is amazing, fantastic, and wonderful. We learn more about humanity daily. Humanity is a beautiful mystery, and so it is. You may be seated. I'd like to invite our ushers to come forward now. This is our sacred time of giving for all of those who've given anything this week to Golden Gate, for those who are giving in the room this morning, and if you're here for the first time today, your presence here with us is your gift. We're going to bless this offering. If you're online and you'd like to make a donation, text the dollar amount you want to give to the number on the screen. Then just follow the directions. We're going to bless those gifts as well. So we're blessing ourselves at the same time. So I invite you to, if you have a gift with you, put it over your heart. Otherwise, just put your hands over your heart, you too at home, as we say this blessing together. This gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it is creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time, and so it is.
Think about it, there must be higher love down in the heart or hidden in the stars above. Without it, life is wasted time. Look inside your heart, I'll look inside mine. Things look so bad everywhere in this whole world. What is fair? We walk blind and we try to see, falling behind in what could be. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. Where's that higher love I keep thinking of? Wheels are turning and we're just hanging on. facing our fear and standing out there alone. I yearn it, and it's real to me. There must be someone who's feeling for me. Things look so bad everywhere. In this whole world, what is fair? We walk by and we try to see, falling behind in what could be. Oh, bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. I could rise above on a higher love. I will wait for it. I'm not too late for it. Until then, I'll sing my song to cheer the night alone. Bring it. I could light the night up with my soul on fire. I could make the sunshine from pure desire. Let me feel that love come over me. Let me feel how strong it can be. Oh, bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Whoa, bring me a higher love. 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 Whoa, bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love.
Woo! Yeah. Yes. So all of us together, on behalf of Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, do accept this offering, and we send it out into the world to reveal higher love. And so it is. If you happen to be with us for the first time, go to this back table. There's all sorts of stuff back there for you. Feel free to pick it up. Make sure that you get a welcome packet from Galen and take out the blue card that's inside, fill it out and give it to her. And she's going to give you a little thank you gift for being here today. It's also an invitation to come back and be with us often in the future. We would love to get to know you. And for all of those who have made this space welcoming this morning and brought snacks and created an altar and all of this, let's acknowledge everybody that did that today. All right. Now I want to invite our morning prayer practitioner, Leslie Janetti, up because she has a special announcement about a class or workshop that is coming up on July 27th. So that's in 2 weeks. Come on up here, Leslie.
Okay. Well, what I want to share with you, this is not another workshop about spiritual mind treatment and the 5 steps. This is really about how to use science of mind practically in times of anxiety, especially if you are in resistance or fearful or don't want to look at something. Karen and I want to connect with you as part of our community and explain science of mind principles and spiritual principles. There's a whole book, the Science of Mind text, that's all about how to use our consciousness for the highest and best. And that's really what we're going to do together. So if you're interested, please ask me questions after class, and I'll be happy to answer them for you.
Great. Talk to Leslie, and you can sign up back here this morning at the activity table and indicate that you intend to come. It's going to be at the office in person from 1 to 3 p.m. on July 27th. That's in 2 weeks on that Sunday. Also, I wanted to let you know, a few years ago, for one of the events that we did for our major donors, we had Swami Beyondananda. Swami Beyondananda is an enlightened comedian, I guess I would say. His jokes all have to do with consciousness and waking up and things like that. He is going to be doing part of the Love and Laughter Ever After event coming up on this next Saturday in Sebastopol at the Soft Medicine Sanctuary at 7 p.m. Tickets are $25 in advance or $35 at the door. And I don't think there's a website on here, but if you look up Soft Medicine Sanctuary, they're probably selling the tickets if you'd like to hear him. And one of the interesting things is he's got several other people appearing with him, and one of them is God. So this lady over here with anyway, that was her. Also, want to let you know, those of you that knew Lloyd Strom, that he passed away in May 25th, and his celebration of life is coming up at the Valley Memorial Cemetery in Novato on August 4th at 10 a.m. I know that he was a member here a long time ago and got started as a practitioner, taught classes, developed a lot of curricula. He created the Quick Start curriculum. We've adapted it since then, but he did the original. And so this memorial for him is taking place August 4th. And I'm sure that any of you that want to attend would be welcome to do that. Also, our next opportunity for service at the food bank is coming up on August 12th. That's a Tuesday, from 12 to 2. Ellen Nicosia is part of the Sunday team this morning, so she's off in the kitchen. But you can let Ellen know that you want to participate on the team this month by emailing or texting her, and she'll be happy to gather your information. She needs to have all of that by August 5th. Also, want to let you know that the Coffee and Faith Sharing Group is just chugging away, doing marvelously well, and they're going to be back again on Wednesday, August 13th at Cafe Aroma on 4th Street in San Rafael. And also, little teaser, there's going to be something else coming out of that group because they're deciding that they would like to spend some time together more than once a month. So on the last Sunday of each month, starting in August, we're going to do a little gathering over at Cafe Verdi, which is across the way over here, and have a conversation about the Sunday talk. People that want to explore those ideas a little further will be able to come, have lunch together, and have a conversation about that. So that'll be coming up the end of this month. We don't have a flyer or a slide for it yet. I just want to let you know. Also, remember, do give yourself the great gift of Sunday morning prayer. There's always a practitioner, at least one, at the practitioner table on Sunday who's available to do prayer with you for free, just as a gift. And anytime you're feeling out of sorts, make sure that you take advantage of that, or even if you just want to celebrate your life, take advantage of that, or put a request into the box. That's fine. Those will be prayed over for a full week as well. So, practitioners, would you come and surround the room now? As we prepare to wrap up this morning's service, one of the things that we know is even beyond what we already think we know about prayer and about wholeness, there's something even larger going on. I've always told people when they say, my relatives are worried about me going to this weird church, they're praying for me. I always say, tell them thank you. Their prayers cannot hurt you. Even if they have an idea, a judgment about that's motivating their prayer, or their prayer is about, please let her wake up and see that this is the wrong thing for her or something. God doesn't hear negatives. That, the universe is open to knowing prayer is a desire for somebody's highest good because they love you. That's worthy to be accepted and be grateful for. So let's turn within right now and let this prayer that we're holding do more than the words appear to be right now in this room. Let us open to a transformative consciousness that the words are just keeping our minds busy so the transformative work can go on within us. Right here, in this moment, that divine presence is within us, and we are in the process of waking up to it. We are so grateful to be chosen, to exist, to experience, to discover, to express and be present to the wonder of life. And so we allow ourselves to be healed, to be revealed to us in greater wholeness. We allow ourselves to open our minds and hearts to see the wonder in every being, in every manifestation, in every form, and within ourselves. With celebration and joy and delight and gratitude, we let this prayer go to do its work in us and in the world. And so it is. Please stand and join me for the morning affirmation. Well, no, we did that already. No, we did the morning affirmation. That's right. Now we're doing the closing blessing. Please join me. I need to go home and have lunch. I now walk so that whoever walks beside me dwells in the presence of God, and whoever places a hand in mine is lifted, and whoever thinks of me is illumined with God consciousness. Bless you, for spirit and all people and I are one eternally. And so it is. Amen. And this is our final song
Much
with
everyone
Nathan.
for being here this morning. I'd like to take us out with an up-tempo version of a great song we've actually sung a few times over the last couple of years. Higher Place, Up, Up, Up by Daniel Nahmod.
Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. No more forward, no more backward, no more spinning around and around. My life is moving ever upward. My feet are leaving the ground. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. No more downward, no more darkness, no more wondering the point of it all. My life is destined, oh, for greatness. My soul has answered the call. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher